Good evening, everyone. Thank you for attending tonight. Our regular City Council meeting, October 16th. It is 6:02. Can we get roll call, please?
Mayor Goodball.
Here.
Vice Mayor Harris.
Here.
Councilmember Buckland.
Here.
Councilmember Cardoza.
Here.
Councilmember Cleveland.
Present.
Great. Thank you very much. Tonight we're going to have Councilmember Buckland lead us in the invocation. Right after the invocation, we are going to have all the little kids right here who are going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance tonight.
What's their names?
We can have them introduce each one afterwards. You saw the list of names. They can introduce when we call them up individually. All right.
You'll bow your heads as I pray. Almighty Father, first let me say thank you on behalf of all those that are gathered here tonight. We're truly blessed by your presence. We ask for your guidance and a clear vision so the efforts of staff and council will be of a benefit to those who live and work in this community. It's in your most blessed name that I pray. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. So tonight we're also going to be led in a Sikh prayer tonight by Granthi Sahib Singh. So let's have him go ahead and come on up. And this is a adras, and we also have a translation available for everyone on the back table if anybody would like to pick up a copy afterwards, if you haven't already done so.
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਖੜੇ ਹੋ ਤੁਧ ਆਗੇ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਹਮਾਰੀ ਜੀਓ ਪਿੰਡ ਸਭ ਤੇਰਾ ਕਹੋ ਨਾਨਕ ਸਭ ਤੇਰੀ ਵਡਿਆਈ ਕੋਈ ਨਾਉ ਨਾ ਜਾਣੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਭਗਵਤੀ ਜੀ ਸਹਾਏ ਵਾਰ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਭਗਵਤੀ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਦਸਵੀਂ ਪ੍ਰਥਮ ਭਗਵਤੀ ਸਿਮਰਕੈ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਲਈ ਤੇ ਆਏ ਫਿਰ ਅੰਗਦ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇ ਅਮਰਦਾਸ ਰਾਮਦਾਸ ਹੋਈ ਸਹਾਏ ਅਰਜਨ ਹਰਗੋਬਿੰਦੋ ਸਿਮਰੋ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਹਰਾਏ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਹਰਿਕ੍ਰਿਸ਼ਨ ਤੇ ਆਈਆ ਜਿਸ ਡਿਠੇ ਸਭ ਦੁਖ ਜਾਏ ਤੇ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਸਿਮਰਿਆ ਕਾਰ ਨਾਉ ਨਿਧਿਆਵੈ ਧਾਏ ਸਭ ਥਾਈ ਹੋਏ ਸਹਾਏ। ਦਸਵੇਂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਗੁਰੂ ਗੋਬਿੰਦ ਸਿੰਘ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਸਭ ਥਾਈ ਹੋਏ ਸਹਾਏ। ਦਸਾਂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹੀਆਂ ਦੀ ਜੋ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਪਾਠ ਦਰਸ਼ਨ ਦੀਦਾਰ ਦਾ ਧਿਆਨ ਧਰ ਕੇ ਬੋਲੋ ਜੀ। ਹੇ ਨਿਮਾਣਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਮਾਣ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਨਿਤਾਣਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਤਾੜ ਨਿਓਟਿਆਂ ਦੀ ਓੜ ਗੁਰੂ ਗਰੀਬ ਨਵਾਜ ਧੰਨ ਧੰਨ ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਗ੍ਰੰਥ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਹਾਜ਼ਰ ਨਾਜ਼ਰ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਆਪ ਜੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਚਰਨਾਂ ਕਮਲਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਹੈ। ਯੂਬਾ ਸਿਟੀ ਕੌਂਸਲ ਦੇ ਸਮੂਹ ਮੇਅਰ ਅਤੇ ਸਮੂਹ ਕੌਂਸਲਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਉਸ ਸਰਬੱਤ ਦੇ ਭਲੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਨਿਵਾਸੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਭਲੇ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਹੈ। ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਰੋ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਸਿਰ ਤੇ ਮਿਹਰਾਂ ਭਰੇ ਹੱਥ ਰੱਖੋ। ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਉਸ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਦਾ ਭਲਾ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਨਿਵਾਸੀਆਂ ਦਾ ਆਪਸੀ ਪਿਆਰ ਇਤਫਾਕ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ ਦੀ ਦਾਤ ਬਖਸ਼ਣੀ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਦਿਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਜੋ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਆਪ ਜੀਆਂ ਦੇ ਕਾਰਜ ਨਗਰ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਸੱਜਣ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਨ ਅੰਗ ਸੰਗ ਸਹਾਈ ਹੋਵੋ। ਸਰਬੱਤ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਨਿਵਾਸੀਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਬਖਸ਼ਦੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਕਾਰਜਾਂ ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਆਪ ਰਾਸਤਾ ਬਖਸ਼ਣੀ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਜੀ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ ਦੀ ਦਾਤ ਬਖਸ਼ਣੀ ਸੁੱਖ ਹੋਵੇ ਨਾਮ ਚੇਤਾਵੈ ਨਾਨਕ ਨਾਮ ਚੜ੍ਹਦੀ ਕਲਾ ਤੇਰੇ ਭਾਣੇ ਸਰਬੱਤ ਦਾ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਬੋਲੇ ਸੋ ਨਿਹਾਲ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
So as we are celebrating Sikh Awareness and Appreciation Month, we would like to have Balbir Sohal please come up.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the Tehran Sikh Temple and Yuba City Sikh community, I would like to thank Mayor Didbal and the rest of the Yuba City Council members for making October Sikh Awareness Month. The Yuba City Sikh community is grateful for the opportunities extended by the local civic leaders and the Yuba City community. Over the past 50 years, the Sikh community stands united with our civic leaders and local community in continuing to unite our communities in all facets. We are proud to represent this community and will continue to assist in any manner to provide benefit for all. I would like to invite our community to our upcoming 39th Annual Sikh Parade scheduled on November 4th, 2018. Thank you.
Thank you. Never works for me. So come on up here. Tonight we would also like to present you with a proclamation. I will read this. I'd like to welcome Balbir Singh Sohal from the Terrabuena Sikh Temple to accept this proclamation on behalf of the Sikh Awareness and Appreciation Month. Sikhism is the 5th largest religion in the world, and today there are more than 23 million Sikhs worldwide and an estimated 250,000 Americans of Sikh origin. Nearly 40% of the nation's estimated Sikh population reside in California, and they play a crucial role in the economic prosperity of our city. Sikh Americans pursue diverse professions and walks of life, making rich contributions to the social, cultural, and economic vibrancy of the United States, and have distinguished themselves by fostering greater respect among all people through faith and service. The City of Yuba City is committed to representing the heritage and culture of our diverse community. Now, therefore, being it resolved, I, Preet Didbal, Mayor of City of Yuba City, and on behalf of the entire City Council, do hereby proclaim the month of November 2018 to be Sikh Awareness and Appreciation Month. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
All right, now I got some fun stuff. So tonight we have a group of young ladies who are going to perform a dance for us as a way to celebrate tonight. So, ladies, you're on. Yeah, I'm good. I have folks take. Tara, whenever you're ready.
करते सियाल दी डेट मिर्च दी काड़ा उत्ते लिखा दांगे सुर्ग बुला चौहां जे करते सारे शौक बुला दांगे तेरे घुटनों कला सरदार जोड़े यार बथेरे नी एटीट्यूड ता रखण रखाना चुप रख दे जेरे नी एटीट्यूड ता रखण रखाना चुप रख दे जेरे नी चुप रख दे जेरे नी ओ ना छोड़ा जाई लोचन फते करा दांगे सिपाही
Girls, stay up in the front. I think I'm tired just watching. But we can all do something like that, right? All right. As a little thank you, I'd like to present each one of you with a little gift. And as I give you the gift, can you please give your name? And come on up here.
Hi, I'm Mandarine King. Hi, I'm Simranjot Kaur. Hi, I'm Madison Joel.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Harjot Kaur Mathu. Hi, I'm Zanim Kaur. Hi, and I'm Sahaj King.
Hi, thank you. Thank you so much for that performance. You guys are amazing. What that energy level. Oh my God, I think our legs are tired just watching. Thank you so very much. And thank you for all the parents who helped participate. So appreciate it. So next we have our National Code Enforcement Week. And we had Code Enforcement Eric Ball, who will be present here to receive proclamation. No? Oh, there you are. Didn't see you get up. Exactly, yeah. So we have a proclamation here for you. So please welcome Eric Ball, Yuba City Code Enforcement Officer, to accept the Code Enforcement Officer Proclamation. The state of California has proclaimed the second week of October as Code Enforcement Officer Appreciation Week. Code enforcement officers provide safety, health and welfare of citizens of Yuba City through the enforcement of local, state, and federal laws. Code enforcement officers have challenging and demanding roles and often do not receive are not recognized for the job that they do in improving quality of life for the residents and businesses of our local communities. The City of Yuba City wants to recognize and honor the code enforcement officers that serve our community and acknowledge their role in leading the way to improve quality of life within our community. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Preet Didball, Mayor of City of Yuba City, and on behalf of the entire City Council, do hereby proclaim the second week of October 2018 and annually thereafter be known as Code Enforcement Officer Appreciation Week in the City of Yuba City. Thank you so much. No, you snuck up on us anyway.
Through the mayor, just real quickly.
Yes.
I don't think a lot of the people realize the peril they put themselves into sometimes with upset people telling them that they can't do certain things because it's either a hazard or a health situation. So they actually do put themselves on the line sometimes with some of the people in the community. So we do definitely appreciate their willingness to go out there and try to help people understand that there are codes and there's a reason that our community looks nice, and that's because people follow those codes, and it's safe in different ways because people follow the codes, and these are the people that do that and put themselves out there, and it's very much appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you. And next we have Sutter County Children and Families Commission presentation. Michelle. Open my shoebox.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and Council. My name is Michelle Blake, and I'm the Director of Sutter County Children and Families Commission. Sutter County Children and Families Commission provides comprehensive systems of information, programs, and services that support Sutter County children ages 0 to 5 and their families to ensure that each child is prepared to enter school healthy and ready to learn. I'm here this evening to extend recognition, gratitude, and a lot of appreciation on behalf of the Commission to an instrumental commissioner, Yuba City Police Chief Rob Landon. On December 30th, 2008, he became the Yuba City Police Department's 14th Chief Officer, and thereby became a Sutter County Children and Families Commissioner. As a commissioner, he has been at the forefront of many community social causes that continue to improve the lives of Sutter County's children and families by advocating for a strong start to optimize early childhood development and reduce childhood poverty. Some of the investment and focus areas he has strengthened include improved family resiliency, improved child development, improved child health, and improved systems of care. During his time with the Commission, Chief has helped to promote an integrated system of care with goals of supporting kindergarten readiness and ensuring each child is safe from abuse and neglect. Chief is always committed to focusing on the elimination of persistent inequities and disparities in our community, particularly those impacted by poverty, which undeniably keeps children from reaching their greatest potential. In partnership with the community and in his role as a commissioner, Chief supported a countywide continuous prevention and early intervention system that promotes optimal health and development, narrows disparities, and improves the lives of children 0 to 5 and their families. Together with all of the Sutter County Children and Families Commissioners, staff, and our community partners, we affirm strong, positive relationships with parents and caregivers. They're the most important factor in children's resiliency, and that all caregivers deserve information, support, and social connections to enable children to thrive. So, we're all aware of how much good Chief does in and for our community. And although Chief is recently and officially relieved of his duty as a Sutter County Children and Families Commissioner due to ordinance changes, I know he's an advocate for children in our community. He will always be an advocate for children's welfare, and he will be a partner with Sutter County Children and Families Commission for life. So please join me in saying a huge thank you for his service to the children and families of Sutter County. Thank you, Chief Landon. And on behalf of the Commission, we have a token of our appreciation for him to display with pride.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for all of your service.
I just wanted to thank Julie real quick because it's a wonderful program that everybody should be aware of and involved with if you can. That's the most important age group of our children. That's most impactful, 0 to 5. And I know Julie does a wonderful job having worked with her. Did I say Julie? My gosh.
Julie, my sir.
Julie does a wonderful job, but
She does
Michelle
as
does a
well.
better job. I am so...
Like Julie's not
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
My brain, let's be honest.
Julie is the one that sends me all the emails, but Michelle is the one that's the backbone of everything. And she is the one that is a leader over there and will continue to lead that. So thank you, Michelle. I am
Hey, Chief, now everybody knows what the code name is that you've used.
He got my attention, right? Thank you.
Thank you. Oh. Okay, the mad rush out now, right? Thank you. I know. Thank you.
You gotta stay till the end. You gotta get warmed up.
Yeah.
It emptied out. So Sorry, Ben.
My ego is not hurt. I
Sorry.
take it in stride.
All right, tonight we have a bid award of the 2018 sewer rehabilitation project of various locations, and we have Ben Moody.
All right, good evening, Mayor, Madam Mayor, and members of the council. So the item I have before you is in regard to awarding the 2018 sewer rehabilitation project with the purpose to maintain priority locations where our sewer system's starting to degrade a little bit. So I was here, the history on it is back in late August. We were here to ask for approval of the plans and specifications. The project was bid in September with a bid opening October 1st. The project scope involves 4 different locations with various rehabilitation work, mainly pipelining, where where the pipe is still relatively good. We put a basically an epoxy sock through the existing line to maintain it and give it another 50 years plus life. And other locations where it's just a complete failure, we were calling for to remove and replace. And a lot of these problem areas we've talked in the past is with old concrete lines where the concrete breaks up over time due to the sewer gases, and it's just it's a pipe is not great for sewer systems. So the new pipes going in will be either the epoxy lined or vitrified clay pipe, which has a pretty good lifespan. So with that, we bid the project with 3 bidders, primarily local bidders: NorCal, North Star, and Lehman. NorCal is in the amount of $286,000, with the bid spreading from $286,000 to $423,000. The engineer's estimate is right there at $375,000. We believe the big discrepancy is NorCal is the only contractor local here that has the process for doing their own lining, where North Star and Lehman would subcontract that work out. And so so it's nice to see a competitive bid, especially in today's bid environment. So we're recommending to move forward with the bid based using allocated capital improvement program funds, where we put money every year into a CIP project to maintain our system. And so there's available funding. The estimated total project cost is around $329,000 with contingency and staff time. And so with that, our recommendation is to award the project to the low bidder, NorCal Pipelines, in the amount of their bid, and B, authorize the city manager to execute the contract on our behalf. So with that, I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Council have any questions or discussion for Ben or motion?
Move staff's recommendation for both A and B.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Great, thank you, Ben.
Thank you, Ben.
All right, next we have public communication. You are welcome and encouraged to participate in this meeting. Public comment is taken on items listed on the agenda when they are called. Public comment on items that are not listed on the agenda will be heard at this time. Comments on controversial items may be limited, and large groups are encouraged to select representatives to express opinions of the group. Is there anybody that would like to speak at this time? No? No written request of any kind?
None received.
Okay. All right, so we have our consent calendar. All matters listed under the consent calendar are considered to be routine and can be enacted in one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items prior to the time that council votes on the motion unless members of the city council, staff, or public request any particular items to be discussed or removed from the consent calendar for individual action. Do we have a motion?
Through the mayor?
Yes.
I'll make a motion for the consent calendar on 7 and 8.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Great, thank you. Next, we have a few general items. We have the annual report from the Downtown Yuba City Business Improvement District and proposed levy of annual assessment for 2018. We have Darren Gale.
Good evening, Madam Mayor and City Council members. Darren Gale, your Deputy City Manager. It's my opportunity to introduce our Downtown Business Association. Shanda, are you going to be the one that presents? So there's two items tonight. First is to receive a presentation from the president of the DPA on their annual report, and the second one is to adopt a resolution and set a public hearing for the next meeting as relates to your annual assessment and levy for your downtown business association. This is something that occurs every single year. We have a very strong downtown business association, which is demonstrated in what they do on a daily basis, and they hold a number of key community events. I know that they'll probably talk about many of them, but I just want to talk about one of my favorites, which is the First Thursday. And this past First Thursday was just amazingly successful, where they had a trick or treat down on Plymouth Street, and I'm guessing well over 500 kids at least. 1,500. Is that what I saw? Somewhere between there and 1,500, but just an amazing event that I hope residents, as the DBA has tried to consistently have this First Thursday event for the last couple of years. It's a great opportunity to go out and to patronize our local businesses down on Plymouth Street. So at this time, I'll introduce Shanda Carlson with the Sopatai. She's the president. I know we also have Sandy Drown with Happy Viking, Crystal Martin, who is the coordinator, Cindy Payne with Cindy Payne Properties, and Angela Butler with Milani Opticals. And if you'd like to come up and give your presentation.
Thank you, Darren. Good evening, Madam Mayor, distinguished City Council members. Again, my name is Shanda Carlton, and I am the current president of the Yuba City Downtown Business Association. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to present you with our annual report. The Yuba City Downtown Plymouth Street area has not changed from last year to this year. The Downtown Business Improvement District is still zoned for either commercial use A or B, or zoned for residential use. Hopefully, with the help of the Downtown Specific Plan, the expansion of the 5th Street Bridge, and new potential business opportunities, the DBA will see this expand. On July 31st, 2019 officers were sworn in by our local mayor. Thank you, everyone that was able to attend. My executive officers are Joe Federico as vice president, Cameo Aerosmith as treasurer, and Angela Butler as secretary. Our 6 returning directors are Cashlyn Gillis, Pancho Serrano, Jim Matthews, Sandy Drum, Teresa Schmidt, and Cindy Payne. We are happy to welcome 3 new directors this year: JJ Husky from Freedom Mortgage, Danielle Blackmer from Oro Jewelry and Loan, and Ryan Henshaw from State Farm Henshaw's Insurance. With a full board that is motivated and excited to work with the community, county, and city, I present to you our current committee chairs and members. The executive committee makes up myself, as well as the vice president, Joe Federico, our treasurer, Cameo, and our secretary, Angela. Our events committee is chaired by Sandy, and our marketing and beautification committee, this year we're doing a co-chair. We have Ryan as the chair and JJ as the co-chair. The mission of the Yuba City Downtown Business Association is to preserve, promote, and encourage aspiring businesses and provide a safe, clean center of culture and community life for residents and visitors alike. Last year, the Downtown Business Association was a member of the Yuba City Chamber of Commerce, and we also joined the California Main Street Alliance. 4 of our board members attended a conference last summer in Pleasanton and returned with so many new, inventive ideas for the community and for Plymouth Street. Both committees are very excited to see what they can implement throughout this upcoming year. In January 2018, the DBA contracted with Crystal Martin
on a part-time basis as the new coordinator. She maintains our administrative office at 409 Center Street, Suite A, and handles our daily accounts payable, accounts receivable, and all of our social media platforms, as well as all of our event coordinator duties. The DBA has accomplished some great community events over the last year. In December 2017, we hosted our annual Christmas stroll with an approximate attendance of almost 20,000 people. This free event for the community consisted of numerous vendors, 2 food courts, a North Pole with pictures with Santa, and a small parade ending at the water tower for our tree lighting ceremony by our new mayor. In March this year, we introduced a new free event for the community, our Bunny Hop Scavenger Hunt. The new event was a huge success with potential for growth next spring. Beginning in April and continuing through October, the DBA held First Thursday. Every First Thursday this year had a specific theme, and our Walk the Loop was picking up pace. There was live music on the beautiful sidewalks of Plymouth Street, small vendors in the water tower parking lot, and artists were showcased at the Sutter Theater. The first Trick or Treat the Street was held last October with almost 1,500 kids visiting our downtown businesses. In June, we held our annual Summer Stroll. This free event for the community had approximately 17,000 attendees. This year, the DBA used a strategic marketing plan that enabled us to reach out to diverse demographic groups through social media. By being more creative with our budget and adding more sponsors, we were able to increase our revenue from the Summer Stroll by 30%. We had 3 stages, a beer garden, 2 food courts, an amazing kids zone, and plenty of vendors. The weather was perfect, and let's just say there was fun for all ages. The DBA currently has 22 associate members. And actually, this is now at 24 since this has been printed. These are businesses that are not located downtown. However, they want to be a part of and show their support for the downtown district. This year, we welcome 8 new associate members: Best Collateral, Clean Right Build Right, Freedom Mortgage, Praise Chapel, Payne Properties, Sunsweet Growers, and there are 2 newly joined, which are Printworks and Sandra's Mexican. Within the last year, we've also added 3 new businesses to the DBA. We welcome Sergio's, South of Center, and Trendy Home Consignments. This currently brings our total members of the DBA, including our associate members, to 97 total. We only had 2 businesses close. One was Hair Productions, which is now Sergio's, it was just a name change, and also BU Women's Center, which is retrying to open back up. The projected income from dues collected from all of our members over the last fiscal year was approximately $33,000. I appreciate your time. This is the conclusion of our annual report. I didn't want to get into a lot of the other of it because I know you've all received a big, huge packet. But I appreciate your time, your willingness to improve and strengthen our relationship with the city of Yuba City. Your generosity, your assistance, it continues to help our downtown. It just thrives because of everything that you do. And we thank you guys so much. And if there's any questions, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I just want to say thank you so much for all the hard work that you put down in downtown. I mean, it is vibrant because of all the work that you put into keeping that way and continue to grow that. So thank you for all the work that you do.
So just would ask the council for the recommended actions of approve the annual report, adopt the resolution, and set the public hearing for November 6th.
Great.
Through the mayor.
Council?
Move to approve the annual report as filed. Adopt a resolution of intention to levy and collect 2019 annual assessments and set a public hearing for November the 6th, 2018.
I will second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Great, thank you. Okay. Next, we have annexation of the Wildwood East subdivision. We have Diana Langley.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So the item before you tonight is annexation of the Wildwood East subdivision. So the subdivision is located north of Franklin Road, west of George Washington Boulevard. Here is a map where purple represents the El Margarita Master Plan area, and the Wildwood East subdivision is located within the proposed El Margarita Master Plan area right here. To zoom in on the subdivision, here's an aerial view of the subdivision. It includes Gabriel Avenue, Daniel Drive. There are 48 lots within the subdivision, approximately 1 acre in size. So the Wildwood East Mutual Water Company serves water to the subdivision through a private groundwater well system, subject to State Water Resources Control Board regulations. In 2014, the Water Board implemented a lower maximum contaminant level for hexavalent chromium, which then placed the Wildwood East Mutual Water Company out of compliance for hexavalent chromium. Wildwood East hired an engineer to evaluate different options to address the hexavalent chromium, and they determined that the best option was to move forward with connecting to the city. So in 2016, an item was brought before council to get approval to move forward with that alternative. In 2017, there was a major shift in that the Sacramento County Superior Court issued a judgment saying that the State Water Resources Control Board did not do their due process in reducing the maximum contaminant level, and they actually reverted back to the previous maximum contaminant level, which then meant that Wildwood East Mutual Water Company's water was no longer in violation of that regulation. So even though Wildwood East no longer needs to connect to city water, the residents would like to proceed with annexation to the city. So in order to initiate an annexation proceedings with LAFCO, the city needs to prepare an application. And so the item before you tonight is just to receive authorization to prepare the application itself. Once the application is prepared, I would come back before council to receive formal authorization to actually submit the application to LAFCO. I would like to note there are a couple representatives of the Wildwood East subdivision in the audience, right there in the back. And with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Back to council for any questions from Diana. No concerns? Would you gentlemen like to speak at all? Okay. All right. So with thank you. All right. Any discussion or motion regarding the annexation?
I'm just shocked somebody wants to annex into Yuba City.
We've been through this before.
Do you have an alarm though?
Just kidding. Through the mayor.
Yes.
I'd move to authorize Public Works Director to prepare an application requesting the Sutter Local Agency Formation Commission, LAFCO, to initiate proceedings for the reorganization of the territory as indicated on the map.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Good choice, Frank.
And next we have Robin, who's going to go over the final financial report for year ending June 30th, 2018.
Good evening, Mayor and members of the City Council. Tonight I will be presenting you with the financial report for fiscal year ended 17-18. First, I'll review the results of the general fund and then the water and wastewater enterprise funds. Those are the major operating funds of the city. This is a summary of the general fund budget versus actual in millions of dollars at the highest level, including the beginning fund balance as of July 1st, 2017, total revenues, total expenditures, and fund balance remaining at the end of the fiscal year. The original budget for fiscal year 17-18, the expenses were $41.3 million. To that, we added a total of just over $3 million. The breakdown of that was a little over $1 million for grant-funded appropriations. Prior year purchase order carryovers, $555,000. Employee salary and benefit adjustments, $515,000. Strike team overtime, $418,000, which adds to revenues as well as expenditures. Purchasing fire SCBA's, $367,500. We had applied for a grant that we were trying to get, but we weren't successful, so we needed to replace those. Personnel attorneys, $60,000. City clerk election costs, $52,000, and general other items, $21,000, totaling a final adopted budget of $44,353,867. Actual expenditures ended the year at $40,865,000, under budget by just about $3.5 million. This savings included $462,000 in purchase orders that'll carry over to fiscal year 17-18, and grants that will also carry over, leaving a remaining balance of actual savings of about $2.5 million. The savings was mostly in salaries and benefits due to vacant positions. Total personnel savings equal $2.7 million, the highest we've seen in recent years. I'll get into a little more details on that later. Material supplies and services were $275,000, and capital acquisition items were $16,000. Savings occurred across all departments and most line items of the budget. I will show you a breakdown of the savings by department in a later slide. We ended the fiscal year with an uncommitted fund balance, which meets City Council's stated policy of a 15% reserve of the 18-19 appropriations. My next several slides will focus on revenues, and then I will transition to expenditures. This shows you 10 years of actual history based upon the actual results and revenues of the city. All of the data here is audited information with the exception of 17-18. The auditors were here though. They left last Friday. They were here for 2 weeks. I'm not aware of any adjustments. There was one adjustment I located for $69.50. So other than that, I'm not expecting any material changes to what I'm presenting to you here tonight. If there is something that we didn't catch, I will let you know when I bring back the comprehensive annual financial report in December. This graph shows the city's gross sales tax revenues for fiscal year 08-09 through 17-18. It shows that revenues declined significantly during the recession, but began recovering in 10-11. 15-16 included the one-time revenues due to the state's elimination of the triple flip. I always like to point that out because it looks odd that that was such a high year. Sales tax continues to be the city's #1 general fund revenue source. At the end of this fiscal year, it comprises 31% of our total general fund revenues. That's how significant it is to support our operations. This is a summary of the city's sales tax on a cash basis. I like to show everyone this because it's the cash coming in the door that we have available to pay vendors and employees with. The fourth quarter of 17-18 shows a decline of 10%. That's related to the state of California updating their computer software. The California Department of Tax and Fee Administration, CDTFA, took over Board of Equalization, and they're upgrading their software. There was a lot of problems where taxpayers couldn't get onto the system. They couldn't download their tax returns. If they were fortunate enough to download their tax returns, sometimes they were in the middle of reporting what their revenues were, and the system kicked them off. Some of them made partial payments, some of them didn't have payments at all. It was just quite a problem, and being at the end of the fiscal year is very problematic for us because it makes it really difficult. Our revenues potentially could be down in 17-18 and then up in 18-19. The state has indicated that they're going to true up the revenues sometime during 18-19. Doesn't give me a lot of comfort sometime during 18 and 19. I would rather have a date specific, but our sales tax consultant, HDL, was able to estimate the lost revenues for us. So we went ahead and accrued those back as part of this fiscal year's revenues. And what I'm estimating is that we've missed out on potentially about less than $200,000 not included in our year-end numbers based upon the errors that CDTFA had. This shows the comparison between the cash basis and the adjusted basis, and I would like to draw your attention down to the fourth quarter 17-18. HDL's estimate was that we were up 0.1% on an adjusted basis. There's no way really of verifying that when the data is not available yet, but they compared our prior year revenues for the same businesses that had zeros, for example, and there was quite a few of those. So we were able to estimate it. In reality, it's pretty unknown at this time, and I don't like that it's at the end of a fiscal year. It would be better if it were kind of in the middle of the fiscal year so we could take care of it and get it cleaned up, but it's completely beyond our control. So I wanted to make council aware of that, that there are some reporting issues. It's not just us, it's throughout the state in its entirety. CDTFA did make a supplemental payment to everybody because they knew they had underpaid folks, but that still was less than what we would have expected it to be. This is a summary of the city's property tax revenues. Fiscal year 17-18 represents an all-time peak for property taxes. The previous high was $12.153 million in 07-08. We have now exceeded that. I know this is very, very small print. I'm wanting you to look more at the trend line at the bottom, showing that we are now back up to where we once almost were. We're back up to the 2004 highs. Not quite where we once were in 07-08 when you look at the individual home sales prices, but we're definitely recovering. We still have some that are in Prop 8 reassessed values. I expect that a good portion of those will come out with the next year's assessment. This is the city's franchise fees. The trend shows a smaller decline during the recession and steady increases since fiscal year 11-12. Recreation program revenues, they've been on the decline ever since 08-09 when the gap opened. That was a record year. I will say that I looked at expenditures for recreation programs and they are down as well. If the program doesn't go, there's less revenue, but there's also an offsetting savings in that the expenditure funds are not spent either. The city's building permit revenue shows throughout the recession it was very low. It returned to a higher level, fairly stable for 3 fiscal years, then a large increase in 16-17, followed by slightly less in 17-18. Business license revenues. This is the city's revenue collected for the business licenses. They were relatively flat with growth occurring every year since fiscal year 10-11. I looked to see how much we had generated based upon the audit that the consultant is doing for the city, and it hasn't been a huge moneymaker for us. It was about $25,000 so far year to date for the calendar year 2018. So not huge. That tells me that there wasn't a lot out there as far as unlicensed businesses. Hotel motel surcharge, again the decline with the lowest year being in 9-10, with recovery in recent years and significant growth in the past 2 years. CSAG, the fire district area that the city provides services to, increases throughout up to the current year with an all-time high again in 17-18. Total general fund revenues showing a decline through fiscal year 10-11, and when they essentially remained flat for 3 years, and then an increase of $2.28 million in 14-15, another 1.7 in 15-16, 1.65 million increase in 16-17, and then just under 2.5 million in 17-18 as far as year-over-year changes. Total revenues were $43,038,000. This represents an all-time high for Yuba City's general fund. Next, I'm going to discuss expenditures. This shows you the citywide salaries and benefits. You can see the trend during the furlough program. There was significant savings due to furloughs. You can see it went up after we transitioned out of furloughs. I looked at the vacancy savings because it's significant. As an example, in June 2017, the amount budgeted citywide for positions which were vacant totaled just over $5.2 million, and the general fund share was about $4.2 million. In March of 2018, the number of vacancies had declined significantly, of about 30 positions, with a budgeted total of just under $3.4 million and a general fund share of $2.3 million. That trend continued. Staff just gave me an update recently, and it's slightly lower than that even as of October. So what that tells me is that looking into the future for 18-19, if that trend continues and we don't have people retiring or leaving the organization, we won't see anywhere near the salary savings that we have for this fiscal year. This is just the salaries component for the city. You can see that this graph kind of follows the same trend line as the previous for salaries and benefits. The next one shows a different trend. Employee benefits just keep going up, and it shows that our dollars are going more towards employee benefits than they are salaries. This is how much the city's retirement is costing on a citywide basis, or excuse me, this is just the general fund. No, I'm sorry, it does say citywide at the top. It is citywide, not general fund. I wanted to look at the citywide total that we're paying for retirement. You can see if you look at 16-17, it goes down slightly for 17-18. It should have gone down a whole lot more than that because we paid off the pension obligation bonds in 16-17. That was $1.2 million. The decline is actually only about $400,000, and that's because our actual pension cost to CalPERS went up that much. I wanted to show you what it looks like without the POB payments in there, just what we're paying to CalPERS, and that's what this looks like. It's much more telling. You can see the significant increases that we're paying to CalPERS now. General fund expenditures, the yellow portion on this slide represents the amount that was budgeted and not spent. 91.6% of general fund salaries and budgets were spent. For materials, supplies, and services, I'm looking for that percentage. Guess I didn't include it. I apologize. Oh, there it is. 96.8% of materials, supplies, and services were expended, and overall, 92.1% of the general fund budget amount was expended. This is a summary of total general fund expenditures for the last 10 years, showing that they too were at an all-time high at $40,865,000 at fiscal year end. This slide represents the departmental savings, or the amount unspent for each and every department at the end of the fiscal year. Just under $3.5 million on a citywide basis. And this, I know, is very, very busy, but it shows you revenues and expenditures side by side, with the purple bar being the revenues and the yellow being the expenditures. The surplus in 13-14 started out at $645,000. It grew the following year to $1.8 million, then $1.75 million in 15-16, $1.62 million in 16-17, and $2.17 in 17-18. Moving on to water and wastewater. This is a summary of the water fund's budget versus actual at the highest level, showing the operating revenues, grant revenues, capital, and surcharge revenues. Expenditures for operating programs, capital equipment, CIP contributions, and debt service. The biggest things that I want to point out there is that operating revenues came in 10.4% more than budgeted for the water fund. Water sales were $949,600 more than budgeted. That was attributable mostly to the fact that consumption was 7.7% higher than in the previous year. Billing penalties were $66,000 higher, investment income $62,000 higher. Other revenues were $309,000 higher, and that one's a little bit, it's not money that we can actually use to spend to pay for expenses. That's for developer contributions. contributing infrastructure as part of subdivision improvements. Capital connection fee revenues were $148,000 higher, and capital-related investment was $21,700 more than budget projections. Operating expenditures ended the year $1.4 million less than budgeted, or about 14.3% under budget. The categories where savings occurred there: $403,000 in salaries and benefits, $157,000 in professional services, $257,000 special equipment, $51,000 buildings and facilities, $98,000 in chemicals, and $406,000 in water purchases. This is our water debt coverage ratio. I show this to you twice a year, at year end and at budget usually, showing that the historic debt coverage ratio, when you take revenues minus operating expenditures, get the net and divide the debt service to calculate a ratio. We have to keep that at least 1.2% per our bond covenants. You can see that we were down to 1.61 in 16-17, and since then we've bounced back to 2.5%, and we're budgeted for 2.27 for 17-18. The wastewater utility is set up similarly and reported to you similar to how the water fund was. Operating revenues ended the year about 9.6% higher than budgeted. Septage charges were $98,500 higher than budgeted. Actual sewer billing revenues $714,000 more. Expenditure items that were less than budgeted generated savings of about $613,000 in total. The majority of that was in salaries and benefits, $440,000, heat and power, professional services, etc. 94% of the amount budgeted for wastewater was expended during the year. And the wastewater debt coverage ratios are typically healthier than they are for the water fund. This shows you the historical, and again, the same ratio applies that we must maintain 1.2%. Now you can see what these ratios are here, with the 17-18 being 2.72 and the budgeted 18-19 2.71. With that, I'll answer any questions you might have.
Great, thank you, Robin. Council have any questions or any discussion for Robin? Nope. Okay, thank you, Robin. So this was for note and file for just our report. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that goes, we are into our business from City Council. So Councilmember Buckland.
Had a SBUFCA, or Sutter Butte Flood Control Agency meeting, and part of the discussion there was trying to move forward with the federal project south in the county or in the basin, and trying to move that forward. There's been federal legislation that has taken place a week ago that should open the option, some of the options for the work to be done through a local contractor, but we're still trying to work out the details and trying to get that project done next year down there. So that's good news as we move forward with that project. And then had a meeting down at SACOG a week ago. Really nothing transpired out of that. And then attended the Chambers event down at the fairgrounds for Taste of Yuba City, which was well attended, and some amazing local products were put on display. So I'm very proud of our community and the efforts of the Chamber to really promote our local businesses through that program. That's all I have.
Great, thank you. Councilmember Cardoza.
All right, we're going to start with meetings this week. Attended the Regional Housing Authority meeting. Sutter Butte's flood Control Agency meeting with council. I was invited to the Healthy and Safe Neighborhoods Coalition meeting. First one, very educated, seeing what these folks Sutter County do for the neighborhoods, making sure that the neighborhoods are well balanced. For chamber events, like I said, we all attended the Taste of Yuba Sutter. Attended the forums for Yuba City Council and also Marysville's Council and Yuba County Supervisors. And I had the monthly ambassadors meeting. On community events, we had quite a few this last couple of weeks. I attended the Trick or Treat Plymouth Street first Thursday by the Yuba City DBA. Fourth annual Pumpkin Festival at the mall was Sunday. We passed out 1,000 pumpkins, had a wonderful turnout. Sutter County Taxpayers Association, they had their annual luncheon meeting. There was the guest speaker journalist, Dan Walters. The Race for Awareness, Pink Ribbon Month. The Giwiki Foundation put their annual event. Great turnout, fun time. I attended the second annual Standing Tall for Veterans fundraiser dinner at Calusa Casino Saturday night. And then Sunday, I was invited and I attended the Cascade Fire 1-year anniversary in Loma Rica. They had a wonderful turnout there, chili cook-off, and a whole bunch of events for the kids. And then last, I finished up with interviews for the government class at Yuba City High School. And that's it for me. Thank you.
Great, thank you. Councilmember Cleveland.
Yes, I definitely was at the Taste of Yuba Sutter, and what wonderful flavors that our community puts out there. Different venues that they are under. The cauliflower pizza, where they have the crust is made out of cauliflower, and actually it was very good flavored. I didn't completely agree with the decisions, but it's a general vote from the community out there. It was a wonderful afternoon and evening. I did attend the council forum as a candidate and had some interesting claims made there that I didn't know existed in Yuba City. So we'll see what happens with that. And then also I did attend the LAFCO conference, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. There are California is divided up into 4 sections for LAFCO, South, Coast, Central, and North, and each one has a representative that is elected to represent their portion of California. And I don't know if it's a pleasure or condolences, but I was elected as the second representative for Northern California on the state LAFCO board. So we're going to continue to have some representation in this area for our community, and that's something we always need to do at these boards at the state level, is make sure that we're at the table so that that we have our concerns heard, and so we're going to have that, hopefully. With that, I have nothing else.
Great, thank you. Vice Mayor Harris.
Yeah, as far as boards and commissions go, these last 2 weeks, the meetings either were not held or were canceled. However, I did attend the Taste of Yuba Sutter event held on by the chamber, and concur that it was a great time. A lot of good food there for sure, and a lot of good times as well. One thing, a project I've been working on the as a member of the Yuba City Arts Council board is I think they're calling it Play It Again. We had a discussion about some pianos. We're trying to find a couple of beater pianos, starting out with 2, where people find them and refurbish them and place them in strategic locations in cities, and so put it on the sidewalk and let people come along and have a spontaneous concert if they want to. And so we're working on that to do that locally. I found 2 that were donated for free. Recology was kind enough to show up at the locations and pick them up and deliver them to the Arts Council, where we're going to get the high schools to paint them up. And the plan is to get one out on Plymouth Street, one out on D Street. If we can get businesses to sponsor them, and they'll wheel them in and wheel them out and let people just have at it and have a good time, and essentially for free. So that's in the works right now. Looking forward to reporting and give an update on that as it progresses. Other than that, we're good.
Awesome, thank you. And I spent the last week in Brooklyn, New York, on a study mission with the SAC Metro Chamber as honorary chair. Some of the topics that we did look at and were able to visit different businesses out in that area were modern manufacturing, small businesses, and how to partner through innovative ways, design thinking, which was the best part of my trip. I mean, I was just drawn to that. But I do look forward to continued efforts, continued work, and continue to look and examine workforce development and best practices, and forward-thinking options for our region to continue to grow and build and produce. Aside from that, that was just a agenda full all week. So I spent Monday pretty much recouping from that trip. Looking forward to, as far as the future, just wanted to remind everybody that our sister city will be arriving October 26th. So they will be here, so welcome them and enjoy the festivities along with. Aside from that, I think we are ready to adjourn tonight. Thank you.